welcome to Deborah Says Whatever, where I say whatever I want. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'm going to talk about my experience with academia and why I actually decided not to pursue a full career being a professor, even though I did go to graduate school with the hard intention of being a professor. It's really hard when a goal that you've had is like changes, right? And even if it's for a positive, it's just a moment where you really question what you want to do in life, what matters to you, and I'm really grateful that I made the decision for me. I do want to say a disclaimer, this is in no way to discourage you from going to graduate school to getting an education or even to becoming a professor or being involved in academia. I support you in your goals. My goals changed, and that is something that I do not regret. The first point, I guess I'll start with like the trivial stuff to the more serious things. The first not crazy one, I guess, is personality differences. I'm incredibly extroverted, I'm silly, I'm out there. A lot of academics are not. And it's not that I ever felt excluded per se. Like in my department, I felt very welcome, and I was, kind of a good student, I would say, right? Got all my work done, and I socialized. I would try to get folks to, oh, hi, Persephone. I was a leader in my department among grad students, like a few others were as well. And so I was always encouraging people to get together and socialize. Unfortunately, there are a lot of academics that are very reserved, very closed off from communicating openly. So as a super extrovert, as you know, it is such a surreal experience to walk into a professional environment full of people who don't really want to get to know you. My experience with going to academic conferences was incredibly lonely and anxiety inducing. Sometimes felt like you had to have an appointment to speak with people, even if you're at a conference and technically the whole point of y'all being there is to network. I digress. Some schools, I imagine, are wonderful at connecting their grad students to opportunities, but also professors are very busy people, which brings me to my next one. The work-life balance is in the shitter, guys. I would say this is based on my experience at the University of North Texas, which I'm actually wearing my like alma mater sweatshirt, my only one that I have, but I just wanted one before I graduated. Anyways, the work-life balance honestly is terrible. I was working so much in graduate school. I was easily working over 40 hours a week on one singular project. I mean, my dissertation, which was amazing, and anyone who wants to hear about that, I can do a little spiel about that later. Let me know down below. However, when the feeling I got being in academia is that you are consistently on the hamster wheel. You're working, you're writing, you're trying to get things published, you're trying to go to conferences, you're trying to do literally everything. And as honorable as that can seem, I started to just question that. I really did. I was like, why? It's not that I don't want to put in that work like I had for so many years. So many years I worked at an incredibly stressful level. When I thought about extending this career, I was like, well, it's just going to be more graduate school, leading to my next point, the hierarchy. As sociologists, I feel that we learn about hierarchy systems. We learn about the impacts of racism and discrimination, sexism, and how they limit opportunities and how things are not equitable. However, oh my God, I feel that as a sociologist, you should be challenging these notions and creating a different work structure around what we know. Because to me, a huge part of being educated is not just going to class and reading a book and remembering some facts. It's actually embodying the principles of what you've learned. After really doing my dissertation and my thesis, I became so passionate about helping people in a more direct way. So I often call myself a public sociologist because I put advocacy first. I know research is valuable. essential, absolutely, but I don't think it holds that much value when often our studies sit on a dusty shelf and aren't actually accessible to people. A lot of academia can be for clout. It's like, I'm just publishing that. It's like so ego-filled. Like, I just want to publish my work and be some hot honcho tenured track professor, which, like, that is what's told to you is the goal. At least in my department, went in with the idea of this career path, very specific career path was created for you. You're gonna like aim for to be a tenure track professor. And yeah, no, absolutely not. But as far as the hierarchy goes, it's no different in sociology, unfortunately. But the academic institution is just as this way. I mean, I believe it can absolutely be changed, and I'm sure there are sociology departments that are more community centered, but I don't feel like writing or speaking about things if it can't help other people. Like, to me, the whole point of doing research is to apply that research. I feel that these are things we should critique, so that's kind of why I started this channel, so I could teach y'all stuff without the academic barriers. Going on to my next point, I thought that there would be a lot more freedom of being able to express my ideas and my thoughts as a professor, but we are also controlled by what we can do, as I'm sure y'all know if you're in Texas, and across the nation too now, unfortunately, but my university was the first to drop DEI. It shattered me. Hypothetically, right, in the future, sociology would be obsolete if we can't speak about things like race, gender, class, and on top of all the very real things that people are experiencing. It makes me so mad, like, especially because UNT advertised their school on diversity principles for years. Literally, there'd be huge billboards all the time about DEI and like inclusion and diversity, and then now you just scrap it all because the governor says no more, and then the president says hell no. I was not comfortable with being part of a system any longer. So at first I thought, okay, well, teaching in Texas is completely out. Now across the nation, like, not gonna pull things from the syllabus just because the governor or the president doesn't want me talking about race or racism or whatever else. Like, shut up. Also, let's talk about sexual harassment. Yeah, it happens in academia. So for one, not just sexual harassment, but just sexism. So let's talk about sexism in academia too, because holy shit, that sucks. And yes, I experienced both sexual harassment and just blatant sexism. I mean, the system itself is sexist as it is racist and classist. So yeah, women, of course, have to work harder and often not get recognition. We're put into service roles, which, as somebody who loves service, that is also insulting because I like to give back, and I like, again, my research to be a vehicle of change and not tied down in an ivory tower. It's hard to feel like your work doesn't matter, or that, you know, you often have to work so much and opportunities don't come as easily. And yeah, creepy professors, they exist at all levels. It doesn't matter if they're tenure tracked, if they're a director of some department. Yeah, it's you. As smart as you can be, you are going to be looked at like your body will be evaluated first. In essence, I don't know how to say that, but so yeah, that's kind of the tea I have on it. But honestly, I'm very happy being in the applied world. I'm a grant writer currently. I help raise money to fund youth justice programs across the U.S., focusing on behavioral health, juvenile justice, and child welfare. Like, my stress level has greatly reduced. I actually sleep on time. I'm not pulling all-nighters like multiple times a week just to get things done. My life has become so much nicer. You know, I think that it's important, no matter what field you're in or what career path you're considering, is to look at the whole picture, look at it holistically, and to be honest with yourself. Like, it might take some time. Like, for me, it took several years of this intense work on top of trying so desperately to apply for jobs and not hear back. And I mean, and the application process itself is very complex. In any case, thank you so much for listening. I hope this was helpful, and I would love to know your experience with academia below, and also the positive experience. Again, I don't intend this to be a negative video. I just think it's important to talk about for me, because this was such a revelation in my life to walk away from academia, but also to do what was best for me, my mental health, and also just finances. Like, I mean, if you have to wait a year in advance to apply for a job that you don't know that you'll get, it's stressful to wait around and to hope that you'll be picked. Creating the ultimate pick-me culture, if you ask me. So in any case, thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to talk to y'all soon. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.